Welcome back. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and Black Friday. If you're new here, my name is Chris Eggenberger. I run a small 3D print shop out of my basement, and I've been getting a lot of questions about the design process. I've got a product I'm working on for this Milwaukee battery, so I can mount it on the wall. And I'm partway through the process, and I thought I'd let you in on some of the details about what parameters do I have when I design, what kind of decisions do I make. So we're going to cover all that today. Stick around and we'll dive right in. The first constraint I have when going into a product design is the printers themselves. I run Bamboo A1 Minis, and even the first printer I had was the same size. So I'm really constrained by the print bed. And to be safe, you don't really want to print right by the edges either, because the edges are cooler. You'll have a lot of issues where prints will peel themselves up off of the print bed, and you'll have a lot of waste in material. The second parameter I have is being able to pull a finished product right off the printer. Now, I have a few instances where my products actually have a brim that helps them adhere to the print bed itself. That I do have to post-process, but it doesn't take me more than 30 seconds on an individual part, and that part would be the final product. So that's step two, and that allows, again, for scalability and really making sure that the designs themselves are really high quality rather than relying on finishing or painting or anything else to, bring it up to a selling quality. The third parameter I have when designing is no supports. I think supports personally degrade the quality of a print. I've not found a solution where if you have a support build up and then a new layer start on top of that, that the finish is the same as printing right on the bed. I like the results you can get from supported prints, and I'll probably have products down the road that use those, but at this time I'm really trying to challenge myself not to use them. One, it cuts down on waste that comes off the printer. For these brackets, for instance, I have zero waste off the printer. It comes right out and it goes into the packaging and it gets shipped out to the customer. And also print failure because of that is super, super low. The fourth parameter is the products I design need to have a very, very low failure rate. Actually, these brackets are a good example. When they come off the printer, they're ready to go. There's no waste from supports, and the failure rate on these only happens when I mess up. And what I mean by that is sometimes I forget to, or I think the bed is clean enough and I don't wipe it down with isopropyl alcohol. And in those cases, I can find failures of the prints, but that's because of me, not because of the design and not because of the printer. When you can minimize failure rates and only work with products in that way, you're able to get much better results. Let me go grab a few of those products that I have and I'll illustrate a little bit more of what I'm talking about. So these are my dovetail coat hooks shaped like a pill. I like these a lot. They're kind of cool. I'm going to put them in around my house as well. But I had high failure rates with these. So I used to sell actually quite a lot of these. They're black, but what you'll notice is this has the textured finish from the standard like bamboo textured plate. And I also had the smooth finish. Problem was the smooth finish over time of using it would get little scrapes and little nick marks that would then transfer onto the finished black print. And it was super noticeable. White, you couldn't see it because the reflection of the light wasn't bad on it, but black, you could really see it. And I would print them over and over and over because if it wasn't perfectly smooth and it didn't have a really nice finish with visible almost like ghost marks, I didn't feel comfortable shipping that to a customer because I really want them to feel proud of the product they have. Because of that, I took down that product, that textured version that you could buy on my Etsy store, which cost me sales this year. It was one of my top 3 sellers, but I'd rather not waste plastic and provide a quality product. Now let's talk about something that's in progress. I am currently on version 4 of this bracket here, which is for this Milwaukee 20 or 18 volt battery that they have. There's 2 kind of pieces to the design. Now that I have my parameters, I can really start focusing on what the product's going to be and what's going to look like. The first one is functional design. Now in my case, like I said in my video on Thursday, Thanksgiving, all my stuff I do is dimensional. I use a parametric software, and because of that, I need to know dimensions. So the first piece is getting the actual design, understanding what all the angles are, what the distances are, how this locking mechanism works. So that way I can design a functional part, which this is, that works. And here's the example. So it's got the locking mechanism. You can see it slots right in there and it doesn't fall off. But then if I were to push the tabs, it falls, which is great. So it's just loose enough that it slips on easily and falls off, but tight enough that I can hang it upside down and shake it and it doesn't come off. Now, that being said, we have to talk about the second piece, which is the design. This in itself, I've been sitting on, and I'm still not going to be able to finish in this video, is not a designed part, right? So let me grab some of my DeWalt ones of these and I'll show you what I mean. Here's the example of my DeWalt bracket. You can see that in comparison, this one is not only functional, but it's also has a pretty nice design aesthetic. It would look nice on a wall and feels like something that, you know, I'd be happy to buy and sell in that case. So that's the difference. My next step, and down the road this coming week, I'll have some updates on what progress I've made with this charging bracket. Sorry, not charging bracket, but battery holder. And you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks again for sticking around on another video. I appreciate it. If you like the content you're seeing, please like and subscribe. I know today was a little bit different. I'll try to weave in more of my design process as I do that. Tuesday's video will be a normal back to business vlog, doing a little time lapse, me hopefully packing a whole bunch of orders because I've got stuff that's come in. Just remember, when you go about your design process, it really takes practice. Right? It takes patience and it takes persistence, just like what we talked about on Thursday. But for me personally, the things that have been working and making the business something that's sustainable to grow, even though it's small and really slow, is I do small single color prints. I finish product off the printer, no supports, and designed specifically for super low failure rates. And again, when you say, how do I design for low failure rates? It's practice. It's something that you pick out over time on kind of the nuances of 3D printing. There's a lot of really good YouTube channels that can talk about some of that specifically. But overall, thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you on Tuesday.